don't really care what nobody thinks about you. You're just living
life the way you want to live it. And
the most important thing is answering to yourself and feeling good about yourself and living and moving
with a confidence that nobody else has.
Russ Anton Smith, born April 19th, 1991. New York City, a place that's birthed a player emphatically known as russdiculous, a high-energy, high-motored basketball player with gobs of talent, but may have been overlooked by the NBA, so many aren't familiar with his game. But most of us do remember the character, the quickness and speed, the game winners. But then what happened? How this NCAA national champion, All-American, NBA draft pick from one of the most popular places in the world ended up flying under the radar by 29 years old. He once scored 81 points in a game and holds the D-League record for points in a game, scoring 65, and yet no call-up followed. Why? Let's get into his 3 growth stunts. Salute to everyone that's requested this guy. It's so many of you that I couldn't give one credit, but it's greatly appreciated. Make sure to go check out my previous video interview with Villanova's Tony Chenault. We had a great time talking and breaking down his story. If that video gets 500 likes, I'll drop parts 2 and 3 in one video for you, so go hit that up. Also, like and subscribe on this video for more content. It's your boy JC, stuntedgrowth3.com. Let's get it, man. Stunt number 1, overlooked. I decided to begin with this growth stunt because this one turns out to be an unfortunate result of his 2 following stunts and is the sum of what really happened to Russ Smith. Now remember, Russ, for all intents and purposes, has had a great basketball experience where he's played at the highest level, won a national championship, traveled the world playing the sport of basketball, and continues to live a comfortable life, I'm sure. So this isn't an indictment against him, but a look at the 3 major reasons to answer a question many ask on why he wasn't able to stick around in the league. It goes without saying how fast the game of basketball moves, as far as how often it reloads talent and how soon a new guy shows up on the scene, challenging you for your spot. Billions of people play the sport of basketball. 60 are drafted into the NBA each year, yet every year there's still only 450 jobs. Where do all those people go that miss their window? Elsewhere, simple as that. They go wherever they can to find a job, or wherever their other skill sets in life can take them. No, they don't die and turn to dust, and no, they aren't living a less fulfilling life. They just fade outside of the spotlighted picture on a long road to fight their way back, or be content with what they have. Russ Smith is from New York City and played at Archbishop Molloy High School in Queens, New York, where he was a 3-star recruit that averaged 29 points a game as a senior, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. He was the co-MVP of the Jordan Classic game, dropping 27 points, then went on to prep school in Connecticut. It was there Louisville saw the guard who they thought would be the perfect fit for their system. And before even offering him, he committed to the program because he had such a great time on his visit and always admired the Cardinals program. Fast forward to his professional career, we'll come back to Louisville a bit later. Russ was drafted 47th overall by the 76ers after being one of the best guards in the country as a junior and senior. He was traded the next day to the New Orleans Pelicans, where he'd only played 12 games, splitting time in the D-League. If you watch Smith play, 2 things are clear. 1, he's small. The other thing you notice is his scorer's mentality. The guy is out there and he wants to score and can score with the best of them on certain nights. But at that size and mentality, I think many teams couldn't vision him doing much else for them, so continued to place him on the side, keeping an eye on him to see if he can prove them wrong. Even when he did, they still couldn't see it. And with the game moving at the pace it does, he was left behind until his age made it almost impossible for a real shot to happen. Stunt number 2, limitations. Accepting Russ Smith's limitations is something many wouldn't be able to do if you look at the game from a business perspective. What are those limitations? Well, at 6 foot and under, it's always going to be an uphill battle that few at that size defeat, especially when you lack physical tools like length, freakish speed, and athleticism, and you don't possess a game that's more suited for your size, which we'll talk about later. With Russ's qualities, you're always going to be affected by this view unless you decide to change who you are. Russ never did. He came into Louisville as a score-first guard and finished his career there as the same thing, a guy that scores the ball but doesn't do anything else at a high level. In fact, an argument can be made that in college he was average to below average in everything other than scoring the ball, which even at that, his efficiency has been in question. He's never been the most efficient shooter at 41% from the field in college, 76% from the foul line with a low of 60%, and 34% for his career with a low of 30% from 3. He's also not a guy that's going to stop a defender on the defensive end, especially at the NBA level where he'll be seen more as a liability on the floor with the bigger, more offensive-minded guards today. Russ is going to post him and create self-opportunities or for his teammates. Chris Paul, Trae Young, Ja Morant are all going to run him off screens and either hit the deep shot or drive him. His length won't help much to stop it, along with his natural instinct being of the mentality he has. Or on offense, if you trap him a few times, you'll either create a steal because of his height and lack of length to pass out of it, or you'll take him out the game and make him obsolete in his minutes on the floor. For a guard that size that's limited in the things he can offer on the court, he becomes easier to defend. And if he's not shooting a high volume and scoring a ton of points, what is he giving you at that level? That's not saying in spurts he can't be a great point guard in the NBA, but there's just not much room for a guy like that. And with younger ones every year coming in, it's usually a temporary situation, which for Russ, the NBA was. Stunt number 3, distributing. The final stunt, I think, for Russ is that he's simply out of position. I know, that's a hard pill to swallow for smaller guards that possess the type of game he has. I get it. The first lesson we all learn in basketball is how to score. When you were bought a Fisher-Price hoop at 3 or 4 years old, what did you do? Try to put the ball in the basket, right? You weren't in the crib working on ball handling or passing or rebounding. No, scoring is the most natural thing in the sport and the very basis of what the sport is about. We can't control that at 18, we didn't grow to the size where we could become professionals at the highest levels and exceed doing the thing we learned since day one. These are just the honest reasons why he wasn't given more chances. He averaged 2.8 assists for his 4-year career in college. That's not very good at 5'11", 6 foot, with a low of 0.8 as a freshman. Now he was injured a lot, so I'm not taking anything away there, but let me break it down for you. As a freshman, you need to at least average 3 assists a game. As a sophomore, at least 4.5. If you want to make the jump early, at least 6 a game. Junior and senior years, at least 6 and up to be considered a player that can run a team, unless you possess other skills that can't be passed on. Russ needed more point guard team leading skills, and because his numbers suggest he didn't have the point guard skills and his quiet go-get-mine demeanor on the floor didn't exude leadership qualities of an NBA point guard, he didn't last in the league. All in all, Russ Smith turned out to be great at what he does. Everywhere he's been, he holds records for scoring the ball and has been solid at those places. One that stands out to me the most is the 2015-16 season, where he averaged 27 points a game, 7.9 assists in 22 games that season. That was an impressive year for him and should have at least gotten another shot at the NBA. But he didn't shoot the ball very efficiently, and unfortunately, teams that year weren't in need of a point guard with his skill set. He's played in Turkey, the NBL in China, where he averaged 60 points a game with a career-high 81 points, and the CBA in China, where he was solid and highly regarded as well. But for the reasons mentioned above, he didn't get very many opportunities at the NBA level, and now at 29 years old, that seems an even steeper mountain to climb. But salute to him. I wish him all the best, and I honestly do hope he gets another chance to show what he can do. It's your boy JC, stuntedgrowth3.com, and I'm out.